Hey everybody, welcome back to James Draws Everything, and today we have another episode in our Drawing Every Country's Flag series. And before we get to that, I did have some questions. James, what happened in that Israel episode? Who was knocking on your door there? Was it the IDF? It actually was not. It was actually my DoorDash order, and so no, I'm still free. I'm still here. I'm still making videos for you guys. And speaking of DoorDash, this country that we're gonna do today, they have a lot of buildings, so a lot of doors, and they're home to some dashing people. And we're doing Canada. That was probably the worst segue of all time. But anyways, Canada. You know where Canada is. Canada sits right here to the northern border of the United States, one of the largest countries in the world. Most of it is not inhabited, like in the upper islands here near the Arctic Circle. Those are basically that's just all snow, glaciers, barren land. Most of the Canadian population, of course, is on their southern border near the United States. And you've definitely seen Canada's flag before. It is one of the longer flags, so I was kind of just extending my grid lines here as I was introducing you guys to this video. So yeah, James, what can you say about Canada? Well, other than hockey, beer, and all that good stuff, Canada, it is a Commonwealth country. So that means it retains a lot of ties to Great Britain. Okay, and I'm just going to start with my red, and you've definitely seen, the Canada flag. If you've ever seen a hockey game, if you've ever seen any kind of sport, Canada, it's kind of like the United States' younger brother. They rely on us economically for a lot. Politically, they're pretty close to us. World affairs and things like that. And so let me just make this a little bit wider here. In 1867, they became self-governing. They did not have a revolution like the United States did. They kind of peacefully separated from Great Britain. But again, they still retain those ties to the Commonwealth. In the post-World War I period, they achieved full independence in 1931. They had a Canadian Constitution developed, and so they've been pretty much, a nation state on the same level as, say, France, Italy, Germany, United States, United Kingdom, all of the nation states, but they weren't fully separated from the legislature of the United Kingdom until, believe it or not, 1982. With the Canada Act. Okay, so and again, as a Commonwealth country, kind of like Australia, New Zealand, they still keep some ties to the United Kingdom. And it was Queen Elizabeth, and now it's, what's his name, Andrew? Is it King Andrew? So that's still considered the head of state, I believe, and then the prime minister is the head of government. There might be the other way around, head of state and head of government. I may have flipped those, but yeah, Canada, I always thought was pretty cool. Lumberjacks, independence, very gritty, tough kind of people. But recently Canada, they elected their first female prime minister in Justin Trudeau, so props to Canada for that. And Trudeau was, of course, the son of a former prime minister, Pierre Trudeau. So as you can imagine, he is soft as hell. Has been spoiled his entire life, no private sector experience whatsoever. But hey, Canada, you elected the guy. And the United States military is involved all over the world, and I don't think it should be. We shouldn't be in the Middle East. We shouldn't be having we shouldn't be involved in all these affairs that really have nothing to do with us. But if we are going to be a global empire and just go invade countries for no reason, we should why don't we just invade Canada and free them from tyranny? Yeah, that might actually be a good use of the U.S. military, since they're right there. And James, can you shut up about politics for a minute and tell us about the Canada flag? Well, sure. It's the maple leaf. The maple leaf has long been a symbol of Canada. And, there's obviously, like I said, a lot of forestry, lumber, those kind of industries all come from Canada. Again, a very developed first world economy, extremely similar to the United States. And actually, if you look at Canada, if you look at their geopolitical makeup, it's very similar to whatever is directly south of it, in the United States. So if you look at the eastern part of Canada, you got Toronto, which is like their New York City, very kind of like this post-World War II liberal order of politics and culture. And then if you get into the breadbasket of Canada, Saskatchewan, Alberta, those are a lot like the American Midwest, very agriculturally strong economies and people. And then when you get out to like the western part of Canada, that's a lot like the Pacific Northwest. You have, when you get up north a little ways, there's definitely a lot more rugged kind of blue collar guys. And then the rest of it, like the Vancouver area, British Columbia, it's kind of weird, sort of like Portland is in the Pacific Northwest of the United States. So yeah, and then Quebec, that's kind of its own thing. If you've been paying attention at all, there's been various secession movements in Quebec over the years, trying to be their own country. Quebec is, of course, French, whereas Canada has more in common with, the United States kind of political DNA. The United States has Louisiana, which is very French Catholic. I wouldn't compare Quebec to Louisiana, but it is kind of the closest analogy. So yeah, Quebec is we'll see what happens there. That always kind of pops up in the news every few years. Quebec wants to go out on their own, and it is very much its own thing. So yeah, Canada's economy and political culture very similar to the United States, kind of in the same regional boundaries. So yeah, Canada, hockey, beer, and lumber, and there's a lot more. Again, it is a first world country directly to the north of us. It's one of our closest allies. That's Canada. So everybody, don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you on the next video.